Recording. I did it. I did the thing.
I brought the junk drawer.
Ha
Wow, I got it.
It's like our show.
Yeah, okay, let's go on the floor.
It's on
All right, hey everyone.
It's on the floor.
We're gonna try podcasting with webcam now, and we're using OBS. So, yeah,
I'm uncomfortable.
He's uncomfortable. We're gonna try this out though. I think it's gonna save us a shitload of time. So
to produce more content for you guys.
Yeah, all 8 of our subscribers.
Is there 8 now?
I think John subscribed.
Nice.
Yeah. So
thanks, John.
Thanks. He said happy belated Christmas to me like yesterday. So, and then I saw his subscription. So I'm like, all right, neat. Thanks,
makes
dude.
sense. It makes sense. He's like, hey, I care about you and your work.
See, this is an issue because I'm going to keep looking at it instead of you.
I'm also going to do that. So I'm going to switch this way.
Got to rotate a little bit.
But also get back into frame.
Yeah, you still got to. You're being real loud for the people downstairs.
Deal with it downstairs, Josh.
Oh, yeah, that is his name.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, Scoot.
I have to adjust my mic, too. This is a process. Sorry that you guys are experiencing this with us, but this is our trial run.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna go to it. So this is really just a catch up because we haven't actually posted anything in a while. We kind of took a break for Christmas and didn't tell you about it because it was decided after we already took the break. So we're just gonna catch up with each other. Talk words. I started working a job, like an adult human.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't see you during the day, like I used to. I don't do that anymore. So
yeah, now our schedules are totally
just
flipped.
opposite. Opposite.
I work 9 to 5. You work
5
to 2.
2-ish. Yeah.
So this is one of our few days that we've actually had off. But
yeah, and we're both awake at the same time and don't have anything else to do. So
you're like not in frame at all.
Yeah, I know. I can't come any.
Here,
I can't be here.
I'm gonna move this over.
Hi.
Okay. There we go. Okay.
This is better.
So I know, like we've talked about it a lot, but dude, crypto's fun as fuck.
Yeah. That's one of our new. Well, I use R, but it's not really our new vice. It's Josh's new vice that I get trickle down information from.
You're kind of getting into it though.
I am. I'm super into it. I made my first sell yesterday. Sold some Ripple. That was exciting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit, not a lot, but like a little bit, and it's down today. So I'm probably gonna buy back what I sold. And
I would hold off. Don't. This is not financial advice.
Eventually.
Yeah, I would wait until it's like below $2.
It's definitely below $2 right now. It was. When I saw it, it was like $1.89, and I was like, ooh,
what's up with that?
What's up with that?
I know Code Stats is a little bit behind, but it says 205 right now.
Yeah, it was definitely lower earlier, but I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger.
I think because it had that huge rise.
It was gross.
That there's going to be a bunch of people just talking shit about it for a little bit.
Yeah,
like
and I'm okay
I
with
see
that.
like the first, maybe like January 3rd is when it'll start normalizing.
Yeah.
People are just going to talk shit because it went up from like 170 to 270 for a little bit.
It was obnoxious.
It was insane.
The jump was crazy. But yeah, what you guys don't know is crypto is Bitcoin and all its bastard children is basically what we're talking about.
You say bastard children, but they're so much better. Bitcoin sucks.
They are. I'm generalizing for the people.
Yeah, that's good. That's racist, but it's good, I guess.
I'm a bastard child. I'm allowed to say it, I think.
But you don't look like a bastard child. Your hair's not long enough. Your last name isn't Snow.
Oh.
That's the only bastard child I recognize.
It could be.
It could be. You are from Jersey.
I am from Jersey, and I have had Jon Snow hair in the past.
But I think your last name would be like Soot or Dirt.
Actually, the last name that I currently have, Popalik, translates from Polish or from English to Polish is ash.
Huh. Okay.
It's like dirty snow.
I was gonna say like Pokemon, but
well, catch 'em, yeah. But if we're going with the Game of Thrones angle,
yeah, there would have to be like a volcano. That'd be closer to whatever Daenerys is, the Targaryens.
Targaryen.
Yeah, because that's like fire and stuff.
I mean, he is a Targaryen, and he his cousin. Spoilers.
Yeah, like way to spoil it for the 8 people who are listening.
Yeah, fuckers. If you didn't watch it by now, you don't deserve to be kept in suspense.
I don't know. Some people are only 8.
That's true. They don't watch us though. And if they do, turn this off.
Nah, you can do what you want. It's fine.
Okay.
Your parents aren't home.
Obviously.
But yeah, so
how did we get on YouTube Kids?
oh god, that whole fucking debacle. What happened to that? Because I haven't heard anything about that in a month.
Apparently they're like straightening out the algorithm. From what I've heard, what I've read, they're straightening out the algorithm. They're being super strict on stuff like that. But they're still asking for a lot of help from viewers and stuff to flag inappropriate stuff, and they're banning, like just flat out banning channels that are even slightly questionable.
I know
which
iDubbbz
like.
got caught for a little bit.
Why was he even on?
He wasn't on. Well, everything's on YouTube Kids unless it's.
Oh.
Yeah, I think unless it's flagged as a inappropriate channel already. I forget. But he did, when they changed the algorithm, a bunch of big channels got caught. I think, what's the tall ginger guy? Coco.
Oh, Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien. I think he got hit.
Really?
It was either him or like Seth Meyers.
Well, he does the game stuff, so I could see that a little more. I love Seth Meyers. I just watched some of his a closer looks today before I was going to the gym, and he's just his show to me is like watching Weekend Update, and when SNL went through that string of being horseshit,
yeah,
that was what I loved. I loved the Weekend Update with Seth Meyers, and then he'd bring on Tina Fey sometimes, and Amy Poehler would come back every once in a while, and I was like, this is what I want. That's
been the most consistently good segment that SNL has.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been bad.
Yeah, it's had like parts where they had to figure it out.
Yeah,
but it's always the head writers, isn't it?
I think so. I'm fairly certain, or at least one of the higher up individuals.
Because I know they're not like Michael Che and whatever the white dude's name is.
White guy. Yep.
White guy. They're not in any skits.
No, and so Seth wasn't either.
Yeah, and Seth wasn't either, and I know he was the head writer with John Mulaney.
God,
or
John
one of the
Mulaney's
head writers.
So funny.
Yeah. I think we talked about it before, but have you seen the the thing that he did with, man, I really got to learn names. He's in The League. He plays Ruxin.
Oh, Mike would be able to spout this out right now.
Yeah. Whatever. Him and John Mulaney did They
did Big Mouth together too.
They did Big Mouth, and then they did a stand-up show where they played
Hello.
Oh Hello, where they played old people. Mm-hmm. That was great. Have you seen that?
It was fucking phenomenal. God. They just play old Jewish men.
Yeah.
Well, he plays an old Jewish man. John Mulaney does not. No, that's hilarious. I don't think he's a Jew, but he might be. I don't know. I don't think John Mulaney's a Jew. No, he's Catholic. He does a bit about that.
That's right.
As a Catholic individual, I always thought that was funny.
Yeah. I've been to a Catholic church once.
I've been multiple times. My mom even. I've had my penis touched by. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Don't. I had my communion. I had confirmation. I've done all that stuff so I can get married in a Catholic church.
Oh, good.
But I don't want to. So.
Good.
Sorry, Mom.
I guess. I want to get married on a mountain. Why not?
And then I'm going to have a ball.
Yeah. By jumping into the volcano that will erupt on the mountain.
As you say, I do, and kiss for the first time.
Yeah, I want it to be explosive.
Ever. First time ever.
Yeah, well, if you kiss before you are married, that's a sin against God. God cares about those things.
He obviously gives a shit whether or not we have sex premaritally.
Oh, no, kissing. You can have as much sex as you want. You just can't kiss.
You just can't kiss. You can even go in the back door. That's how you keep the virginity. That's how you keep it intact.
There was a TV show on TLC, I think, that was about that. About people getting married who had never kissed. It was like a very puritanical. Is that the word?
It sounds right.
It's like super religious group, like Pennsylvania.
Of course.
Yeah, they weren't Amish, but it was that type of.
They were the other ones. They weren't the Amish. They were the Mennonite.
They might have been.
That's what the other one is that I can remember. I I mean, just like, truth be told, as a male who has had significant relationships with a few young ladies, I couldn't imagine doing that. Just because, like, don't you kind of know what the car can do before you buy it?
In terms of sex or in terms of kissing?
In terms of all of it. If like you're gonna marry a girl and for the rest of your life, every day you wake up, you roll over and go to kiss her, and she opens her mouth all the way and just licks the outside of your mouth,
that's a keeper.
You don't want that. You don't.
So you don't want that.
She's just like, good morning. You're like, this was great. Thank you.
Well, maybe there's
so
some guy
much.
out there who can't create saliva and he needs it every morning.
I mean,
or woman. I don't know.
And that's fine, but just not for me.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine not being allowed to, because I feel like that incentivizes making a rash decision and just getting married so that you can have sex.
Yeah.
So I think it was more important to have that split historically.
Yes.
But now people just get divorced like that. So
it's like going to the store. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever, we get divorced. It doesn't
I mean, it's
whatever.
just yeah, I think it's important to. It's like living together.
Yeah, definitely important step. I actually lived with a girl. We were together for 3 years, and the last year we were together, we lived together, and learned what I needed to learn, and we are no longer together. So I don't think it worked out well for her either. I think she also learned what she needed to learn, and we just decided we were on two different paths, and that was that.
How long did you guys live together?
Over a year.
That was a while.
Yeah, we lived together for a while, and then we ended up moving back to New Jersey because we lived together here. Moved back to Jersey. She went to school in Pennsylvania, and I was living in Jersey with my parents. And before I came back down, I was like, I'm going back down to Florida. Don't really want to be here. Mm-hmm. And well, I say that now, and I want to go back up north, but
Right.
I didn't want to be in Cape May, New Jersey. And that was where I was going to like wait for her.
Yeah, you didn't want to be stuck in like a small town.
No, I didn't. So, and there was no real prospect of me going and doing anything else. And Mike and I had plans to kind of do some more work together than we actually got done. But it was still a plan, and it was something that I knew I was coming here to at least be around creative individuals,
Right.
where I wasn't around that before. So,
And that was before we hadn't met yet, right? When you came
maybe
back,
briefly, maybe like once.
Because I feel like I remember Mike saying that you were coming back.
Yeah, like I said, we may have met like briefly, like in a one-off situation where it was like in passing. It was like I was walking into Meridian, you were walking out. It's like, oh, Josh, Pat, Josh. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, hey, okay.
Yeah, and that was it. So
Oh, yeah. That was when we started writing Worst of Friends, right? When you came back? Okay.
yeah, the first episode was written before I left, and the other episodes didn't get written until I got back. So yeah, I think it was a one-off.
I still
situation.
have. Actually, I think you can see it right here on the screen. There it is, right there. Your script.
My script that you have yet to read.
Well, I was gonna read it on the
Doesn't-
plane that one time.
Doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
That's good. That's good to know. So I was gonna read it when I was going on the airplane, and I couldn't because my laptop died.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I would read it tomorrow, but I'm driving
You're
for 6 hours.
driving the entire time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let Taylor drive.
That's fair.
Taylor's a very good driver, but he's a very aggressive driver,
I'm
especially
also
when
an
it's not his
aggressive
car.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh,
Yeah,
No
he'll just floor it all the time.
no rules.
Yeah.
I like that. So we've gotten into crypto. Do you want to talk about Christmas, our respective Christmases?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, Josh and I exchanged gifts early, because he went home for Christmas and I stayed here, and, cause I'm lonely and a homebody sometimes. And I got him the shirt he's currently wearing, not the flannel, the Mr. Meeseeks / Punisher mashup. Existence is pain.
If you're just listening, which you won't be because we don't have
that.
podcast set up yet.
We're working on it. But yeah, Mr. Meeseeks Existence Pain, and it's in the shape of the Punisher skull. Super cool. And I got him a light, which sounds not as cool as it actually
I'm
is.
not gonna get that one.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's
I
pretty
like
neat.
it, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a cube, and it's got an LED base underneath and stuff, and it lights up, and it has the guardians from each chapter of Breath in the Wild, the Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, I want to get I want to hook that up to one of the Google Home stuff so that I can I haven't figured out what to do yet, but you can set sequences. So you say like, "Hey, make my room cool, Google," and it'll run a series of programs.
Then it'll start playing some Barry White.
That's sexy. Right? Is that the right?
Yeah. He's got the deep. He's like, "Oh, baby."
Yeah.
And then I exchanged gifts with a couple of friends. Still waiting for Mike Spillane's gift. So sorry, buddy. Even though you don't listen to this and aren't subscribed to us, fucker.
Wow, what a little butt. What a butt man.
I'm looking at you, Mike.
Yeah,
piece of shit.
So those were his shitty gifts.
Those are my shitty gifts.
Those are the shitty ones. And
pretty aggressively negative. I bought him a light and a shirt.
Yeah, what a dick. My brother at least got me socks. That's not a joke either.
I believe you.
He got me socks, shaving cream, and
for all the times that you shave.
Pringles.
And Pringles, nice.
Yeah. So
the Pringles are the steal of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But socks are actually kind of nice.
No, I like socks.
I kind of want them.
I like cool socks, even though I wear shorts all the time. So because of my tiny legs, if I wear long socks, it looks like I just have tinier legs.
You look like a pop punk.
Yeah,
from 2000.
That's my life.
Yeah,
that's my life.
But he every year he like with his class or whatever he's at, they take them places to get stuff. But he just consistently gets me like the same thing, and it's usually shaving cream, which I don't use.
Do not shave.
But the socks are great because I'm going to Atlanta tomorrow, and it's gonna be cold as fuck.
It is gonna be cold. It's gonna be real people cold and not Florida cold. So that'll be exciting for you. I'm excited for it to get kind of cold here. Apparently we have a pretty serious frost warning coming.
Yeah,
for Tuesday.
I know I told you before, my the county like 2 over from my parents near Tampa is potentially having snow.
Those people are going to melt down.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. I hope they have it.
That'd be awesome. But I love snow. I love looking at snow. Driving in snow is what makes the bane of my existence.
That's something I've never done.
It's horrible.
I've shoveled it and I've played in it and I've sledded down it.
Did you pee in it?
Probably. But
peeing in it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but then your penis gets really cold.
You don't stick your dick in the snow to pee in it. You just stand there and pee. You have to write your name too the first time.
Yeah,
it's like
but how do you?
Passage.
Do you not know? Wait, do you not pee by putting? That's why the toilet has the like little table in front, so you can like sit down and just do whatever. Yeah.
All right. I'll have to try it that way. I've never peed quite like that before.
Well, how do we always get onto bodily functions?
I don't know. It happens a lot. Yeah.
We gotta stop doing that. We gotta pick up the material.
So you got stuff from your family, which was cool. My mom does every year for Christmas. We have to play games. My siblings and I. And last year the game was she put a bunch of numbers and tied them to little tiny plastic bottles that were filled with like glitter because they were magical. And you'd have to pull the number, and she had a sheet that had everyone's numbers on it. And if you pulled a number that wasn't your present, you then had to put it back, and it was somebody else's turn.
Okay.
There was also ones in there that you had to do like minute to win it games, or you had to do like different challenges and stuff. So if you pulled it out and it was like, okay, well now my brother got one that was like, there's this game that you have to answer. It's like 5-second question or something like that. And it was like, name 3 different types of sharks. So they pull it out and they're like, all right, Kenny, are you ready? And he goes, yes. And they flip the egg timer and he goes, killer whale. And they were like, this is the worst. They all laughed for about 4 minutes from what I understand.
Oh, that's great.
And
Is this while you were on FaceTime with them?
No, this was, I heard about this after the fact because my sister and my mom actually came to visit me last year. After Christmas for like the first time ever. And I still had to play the game. They all got presents and stuff. My girlfriend at the time also was forced to play the game, but I got to do that torture, and she did not have a choice.
Wait, what? What?
So my mom got presents for my girlfriend at the time as well.
Yeah.
And hers were also numbered. So she had to, I threw all of my fucking little bottle things back in with the numbers. And when she came back, because she was in North Carolina, when she came back, I made her play.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to
I got to be that. Yeah. It was great. It was great. This year,
awesome.
apparently they did very similar like trivia questions, challenges and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But not only did they do that, you have to, they hid them in eggs like Easter. And you have to find them in order to open your presents. So now I have to, when I go home in a couple weeks, I have to play this. It's fucking January 18th.
What do you do for the gifts then? Because you got the gifts, didn't you?
I got some, yeah.
Oh, there's still more?
Yeah, she kept some.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because I saw that there was a note that said to keep it numbered.
Yeah. That was from my adopted family, the Delps. Celeste, who stayed with us during the hurricane, her family, they sent me the crock pot and the Batman and stuff like that, which was really cool. And I had to open them in from 1 to 5. But yeah, my mom sent me the ones I got here. I got a Chromecast. I got a controller. I got the Batman controller. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Yeah, dude, that one.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. I've only played with that one since I got it.
Right, as is tradition.
Yeah, of course. And I got that clock that I have yet to put a battery in and set and hang it.
Where
somewhere.
are you thinking for it?
I have no idea. I want to put it somewhere where maybe you'll be able to see it when we cast, so at least it'll be cool and like stuff.
Well, if we end up reorganizing this, because so like I said, I got a job. So
Finally.
I'm finally
deadbeat.
not a little leech on society. But now, because I was just working right here, so we have this whole office area that's just mine, but we don't need that anymore.
We don't need it anymore.
So I'm thinking, we kind of need this table.
Yeah.
Like if we just pulled this out into the center and kept this camera like on a tripod on the railing there.
Yeah.
We could probably
set this area up as our new spot.
Yeah, because even if we do game recording, it's just gonna be the wall.
Yeah.
And we can hang stuff up.
No, I'd be cool with
there.
I'd have to hang some of my Florida Flyer stuff up when I start doing that again. Sorry, everyone that watches that.
Yeah. Well, you could still do it there if you wanted to. I don't know if you're trying to use this camera or if you want to get one too. Or...
It's like I definitely want to get one too. It's a nice camera. But regardless, yeah. So that was Christmas. I have to go home and play fucking games.
Yeah.
I don't even get to it's not even a real vacation. My schedule for when I'm home is kind of obscene. The 18th I fly home after working a double the night before. So I'll be working a double and then until 2. I'll leave Lake Nona at 2:30, hopefully drop my car off back here, get back to that side of town, get to the airport by 5, leave at 7, get into Philly at 9, leave Philly by 9:15, 9:30, get home by 10:30, 11, hopefully take a nap, open presents, go back up to Philly to watch the Flyers play, go back home.
You're jam-packed.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I'm going to Philly twice when I'm home for 4 days. That was the first day. I didn't even get through the whole first day.
How far are you from Philly?
Hour and a half.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think that the older you the older you get, the less vacations are actually vacations.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen my grandparents. I haven't even called them for they gave me Christmas money. Thank you. That went to Ripple. Yeah, I haven't, so I have to see them, and that's just another thing where I'm like, cool.
I couldn't even go see my grandma while I was back.
Really?
I just didn't have time because she's down in St. Pete, and my mom is up in Tampa.
Yeah.
Then my dad is Palm Harbor, Clearwater. So there's
you're traveling.
I'm traveling constantly,
ways
and
to
because
go see anyone.
Yeah, and because I stay with my mom, but my dad's birthday is the day after. I try to give my dad Christmas Eve too. So I was at my dad's for Christmas Eve, then back to my mom's, and then jumping around there to try to visit other family.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. The only day my grandma had free was I think it was Eve, and there was no way because I think I got in at 2.
Yeah.
And immediately went to my dad's. It's just having to drive my brother and everything too. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah, I'm like you said, being as you get older, holidays become less about spending time with everyone and more about spending time with each person individually.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh, well, you know, I'm 20 something now. I don't want to go to this same communal event. How about everyone comes over here? And not everybody does that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, cool, got to go see Jenny. All right, now it's time to see Javier. Okay, got to go see Greg. It's the worst.
That's why I like when you can have those large communal events.
Yeah.
When you can just knock it out. Like my Hispanic family does that, where it's all just at my Aunt Libby's.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get like 35 people there. I get to see everyone.
Shake hands, hugs, kisses. Great to see everyone. I'll see you next year.
Yeah. Get into like mild political debates.
Oh, Lord. Thankfully, there shouldn't be much of that when I go home this year, just because the election's over and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just avoid it. The very nice young lady I'm currently talking to we were talking about, you know, I talked about how I like to be savvy in different things.
Right.
And one of the things was, you know, I like to have a general understanding of, I like to have political awareness.
Like the landscape, yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, I don't like politics at all. And I said, well, I don't either. I was like, I don't like this. I was like, I'm not a fan. I was like, but in order to make sure past mistakes don't continue to happen in the future, and that's Republican and Democrat, you need to have an understanding of which way to go. You know, what you know, lead the path. So that's just my my viewpoint. I hope that there's some people, one of the 8 people that watch this, share that with me, that it's better to know the way that it was wrong before and want to fix it, instead of just being like, I hate people that are just like, I'm a Democrat, I vote Democrat. I'm a Republican, I vote Republican.
Yeah, it's copping out.
Yeah.
And I think there's an increasing number of people who are actually doing research and like learning.
It's
or
much
at the
easier
very
now,
least.
too.
Yeah, well, kind of. It's easier to get information. It's
correct
harder to verify that information is good.
Well, that's like I was going to drink a water, but I'm not now because I'm starting a thought. Apparently a year ago today was when that one YouTuber, I don't remember his name, but Phil did a whole big piece about it, that he got on a plane and him and his buddy were yelling like terroristic threats in Muslim threats, or they were counting down from 10 and like just shouting.
Yeah. Was that Fuzi?
Yeah, I think it was Fuzi. I think it was him.
I don't know for sure. You keep going. I'm going to make sure.
So Philip DeFranco, the guy that Josh and I both have a very big respect for, he did a big piece on it, and the guy and his buddy apparently were shouting in Arabic. They were counting out from 10, and they were ducking in their seat, and they were really trying to cause a commotion. And then they were kicked off the plane because they were making people uneasy for valid reasons. And they then went immediately to YouTube, and they were like, we just got kicked off a plane because we look like we're Arab and because we're whatever and we're Muslim and this is profiling and we're going to sue the airline and blah, 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 blah. And then it came out a few days later, once the passengers had been, they had
they talked.
Yeah, once they had time to talk to news outlets and whatnot, that these guys were trying to incite panic, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't Fuzi.
No?
It was some other guy who there's no reason to give him name recognition.
Fair.
But yeah, and I think the people on the plane said that they did it like 10 times.
Yeah, the first couple
9
times
they
like,
did it, they're
whatever.
like, whatever, this is dumb. And then at some point, they just got fucking rid of them.
After a certain point, like it didn't work the first time, so every ensuing time afterwards, they were like, it's going to work this time. We need it to work this time. And they just keep dialing it up until, there's a certain point where you can't ignore it anymore. You're just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. But they kicked them off because they were assholes, not because they were Arabic.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with their religious affiliation or anything like that. They kicked them off because they were trying to incite panic. They were trying to make a scene, and that's not what you do on an airplane.
That's not what you do That's not what you do anywhere.
Yeah,
like it's
right.
It's just being a shitty person.
Yeah, don't. Moral of the story: don't be a shitty person.
But I think that's happened less and less.
It is,
because after YouTubers started getting sued for it, like there was some guy, I want to say it was in France, where he did a fake heist. He fake robbed a bank or fake robbed a store, and he got charges pressed on him. or maybe it was a 5, whatever. There were charges pressed, and since then that whole economy on YouTube has gone down.
Yeah,
which I'm totally okay with.
I'm pranking you. It's not really a prank. You're just being
prank,
an
bro.
asshole. You're literally just being an asshole. I never understood that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, that was one of the things that we had a friend that actually posted one of the guy's videos in response. I just got kicked off a plane because I was Arabic and I was doing blah, blah, blah. And
Who posted that?
I don't want to drop names.
Is it M?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And my first comment back to that was, I commented right on it and I was like, hey, don't believe what you hear at first. Like, wait for all the information to come out before you start making judgments. She's like, oh, well, the country's just in shambles and you know, everyone's stupid and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you just don't want to make sure you're not helping the problem. Like,
right.
You're not spreading the bullshit. And then as it came out, they were just spreading the bullshit. And
yeah. And one of the things that...
Take the time to do your own research.
Right. One of the things that I've found, or that someone said that I found really important, is that when you ask people how the country's doing, they'll say, oh, it's shitty, everything's bad. But then you ask them how their community's doing and how things around them are. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, yeah, it's fine. Like in our area, there's not, aside from someone breaking into my car, and I mean, it was unlocked and they got receipts.
Oh no.
But that's like the worst thing that's happened here in the entire time we've lived here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And if it's like a scaling issue. When you ask people just to look that wide, all you're getting is the news telling you shitty stuff, because that's the stuff that's newsworthy.
Exactly. That's what the news is for. People think that the country's actually doing very well, at least fiscally. Mm-hmm. You know, adding to the debt with this potential tax reform thingy, but that has not happened yet. So there's no need to fret about it in this moment. But the country as a whole is doing fairly well. And you know, whether or not you want to attribute that to President Trump or to whomever, just because you don't agree with what's happening doesn't mean that it's shitty. You know, it was very apparent to me. I was watching, like I said, those Seth Meyers things. And how Trump keeps saying, he's like, we've gotten, you know, the most things done of any presidency ever in the first year and this and that. And Seth kind of jokingly was like, you've gotten one bill passed. And then I sat down and I thought about it and I was like, oh shit, it's more than one, but it's probably only like 3.
Yeah. I mean, most of his stuff has been executive orders.
Yes.
And I don't know. I was talking to my uncle about it because he's very pro-Trump, which is fine. You can have your own reasons,
of course.
But he's a legal immigrant. He's from Norway.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does he feel about the ban thingy?
He's all for it because he came through legally. So because he had to go through that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a shitty process.
And he's also an airline pilot who almost died on 9/11. So he was going, and I didn't know the story, but he was, I forget where he was flying, but he was based out of New York City at the time. And so was my aunt, his wife.
That's not
She
good.
was a flight attendant.
Yeah.
So both of them know people who died.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah. But he was, what was I talking about?
He was pro-Trump and you were talking to him about his feelings about everything, and then I asked about.
Oh yeah, so I was trying to get a new perspective on like his supporters, Trump's supporters' view of him, and like the executive order thing, because that's used as a negative.
Yeah.
But so much of it has been, according to him, rolling back executive orders that Obama put in place. So if you don't like those executive orders, it's no longer an argument to say he's doing more than Obama did.
Yeah.
So it's such a complicated issue, and there's just so much bullshit that I don't know what is even worth hanging your hat on, you know?
Yeah. It's just a weird time, honestly, to be in the political climate, to be in the news cycle, everything like that, because 98% of what comes out is just reverb garbage from, you know, Breitbart, Republicans will talk about what Fox News says and Breitbart, and then CNN and NBC and CBS, they all have their own leftist agenda, and it's just the New York Times. What I'm about right now is call a spade a spade. He's messed up in relations with other countries. I feel like the way the handling of North Korea has been horrible, personally. Not to get too politically in depth on it, but I don't think a lot of political things should happen on Twitter. I don't think you should be punking a North Korean diplomat on Twitter.
Right.
But short of that, like I said, the country is profitable right now for the first time in a very long time. And whether that is him or, the things that Obama set in place, right now as a country, we're doing okay, which is better than not being okay. So there's not too much to be upset about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough to talk on it. Like the main thing, aside from the Twitter bit, which I mostly agree with
more than anything.
At the same time, there is something to be said about effectively decentralizing communication.
Yeah, he's
because he doesn't have to go through
the
the filter of one of the mainstream, any sort of media source. It's just him saying something directly. But the problem with that, and this is what I was arguing when I was back home, is that he needs just a little more tact.
Yeah.
Like there's some things that you shouldn't say or should say in a better way.
I agree with that.
But I also understand that like you're free to say what you want. That's fine.
Yeah, but the only problem I have with that is like you said, that he does work. I think the term presidential, and we've talked about this in the past, describing him as I wouldn't describe him as presidential. And I said that to you, and you were like, well, he is the president, so he is presidential. Everything he does is presidential. He does need more tact, but you can't be so aggressive when someone, comes at you with issues that they've had or anything like that. And he tends to get a little sensitive about that. And I feel like that's something he needs to be better at.
Yeah.
He's got very thin skin.
I mean, he's definitely got some issues. Just like social issues, but he's a New York business guy from the cocaine era.
So much cocaine.
So just even if he was a perfectly upstanding dude, the New York sense of humor is not applicable to the rest of the world.
No, it's very different. It's very, very different. I've struggled with that northeastern mentality.
Of just telling it like it is and just being
people don't like that.
No,
they're not big fans. And I mean, like my dad. It's funny because when my dad and my family came down 2 years ago, my girlfriend at the time went and we were talking with my dad one day. We sat down for lunch. We were at Disney and we were just talking. And my dad talked about a time he hired a guy to work for his garage that he owned like right next door to the house when I was young, and he called him a retard. And he didn't say it in like the sense of like, that guy's a fucking retard. Like he was a slow individual, but because he was born in Philly
he meant like he was actually
mentally handicapped because he was born, whatever it is.
It doesn't really matter.
Because he was raised in the 60s, 70s, 80s in the Northeast. That was what you called people. Like that was the proper term.
Yeah, it's a constant moving goalpost.
Yeah, exactly. And like after we left and stuff, she was like, I can't believe your dad said that. And I was like, said what? And she goes, he said that guy was retarded. And I was like, yeah, he was. I was like, that's how you talk up there. Like that's just, and that was at that time, that was the proper phrasing of someone who was mentally challenged. My brother is deficient in multiple things. He's on like a 6th or 7th grade reading level and he's 22 years old. So it like you said, it's a constant moving goalpost of, what you can say, what you can't. Like before it was idiot, they were called idiots, and that's a no now. You can't, like, if you call anyone an idiot, it's like, wow, way to be a jerk.
Yeah, well, idiot was or moron. One of the
was
two
it
was one of the two
was
was
either idiot or
well,
moron,
I think they're two different things.
Yeah.
One was like an IQ of like 50, and the other was IQ of like 35.
Yeah.
But either way, those were like medical.
Those
were technical terms at one point, and now they're. It's funny how those words like idiot and moron are just like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
No one cares. But if you use retarded or let's just stick with that one.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, people get pretty aggressive about it.
Even mental. People were getting upset about mental. I think it might have been a little bit more in like Europe.
Yeah.
Where mental was more,
It's
like,
more
closer
more
to
common.
crazy.
Yeah. It's more commonly said there. It's crazy to me how kid gloves our society has become. And maybe it is because I have that Northeastern mentality. I grew up there, and like, I mean, with no offense to anyone, but like me and my friends grew up calling each other fags. It was like, you stop being a fag. And it was never meant as like you're a homosexual. Like it was just like, stop being a doofus.
Yeah. It had
like,
it didn't have a gay connotation.
No, I wasn't trying. It wasn't like a hate speech thing for me. I wasn't trying to be that guy. And I mean, to be fair, I was like 13 years old, so I didn't even know what the word meant anyway.
Right.
But it was just something I heard and was like, oh, that's a fun word to say.
Yeah.
And now, like, I would never ever call anyone that, but and for good reason. But it connotations around those words, I think you have to take into account the way that they're being used.
Yeah, intent matters.
Yes, absolutely. Context clues are important. And
Well, we were talking about that with Craig about calling someone a Jew.
Oh yeah.
Like if you just say, I don't know if this was on the podcast or not, but if you say like,
because we censored some of that.
Yeah, but if you say something like, oh yeah, Craig's a Jew. All right, he's Jewish.
Yeah.
But if you say like, that guy's a fucking Jew, then that's like,
oh, don't go home and put on your armband and start marching in high step. Like it's
like
no.
it's very connotational.
But
and that's hard because with how media is, if it's not long form like this,
yeah,
stuff just gets taken out of context.
And even with stuff like this, like Trump speeches and stuff get taken out of context all the time, and they get drug into they'll play like 3 sentences and nothing before it. And that's what I make sure when he has a speech and there's like a big scathing issue with it, I'll go and I'll watch the whole thing. I'll watch it from start to end and be like, all right, I'm going to formulate my own opinion on this.
To get the context.
Yeah, I want to know what he said before it and what he said after it. I don't want to know just what you're telling me.
Yeah, or looking at it without the filter that whoever's telling you about it puts on it. Like when he was talking about Puerto Rico, and he said he made some joke about them costing the U.S. a lot of money.
Yeah.
The way I took that was that's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah.
But it I don't know. I'd have to see it again. Maybe there was more to it. But if you're just saying like, costing me a lot of money, man, it can be jovial. It can be joking.
He's trying to make light of a situation that was very serious, and maybe it was the wrong time and place, and that goes back to what you were. Yeah, it goes back to what you were saying. The more deft, the more tact.
Yeah, but and that's like a New York sense of humor.
Yeah.
Of where, and it's like dark humor. There's a shitty situation, but you can either feel the full weight of that tragedy, or you can joke and at least
try to bounce out of it.
Lift your spirits up a little bit, so going through that is easier.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a weird time to be alive, because you and I have talked in the past too about the fact that we have supercomputers in our pocket. Mm-hmm. It's something that you have at any moment in time. If you have a question, if you have a feeling, if you have anything, you just Google
look it up.
Just Google it. You can do that. And most of the time things are spent, Instagramming food and like stuff like that. And then people just formulate these opinions and these decisions based on what one source is telling them. And if you really want to formulate an opinion, don't you need both sides of the aisle? Don't you need both sides of the story in order to figure out where you land?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like to be intellectually not curious, but maybe curious. I don't know. It's easier to give up your beliefs or your thoughts to someone. You just outsource it.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what to think about this, but I like this, so I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then whatever they say is now how I feel. So
it's just crazy that we have so much information available to us at any given moment, and most people would prefer to not educate themselves.
Yeah, people have their lives.
No, of course.
People are concerned about the day-to-day, especially when someone's working a job that isn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend, let's say they're working 8 hours at a job they hate. They got to sleep for like 6 to 8 anyway. And the other 8 is like commuting, eating. There's just the time isn't there for people to really dive deep into it.
Well, one of the things I was talking about the other day that I'm very excited in, and I wish, I know it probably won't happen in my lifetime, or at least towards the end of it, is universal income. This is something that I'm very interested in, and I know that there's, I think it's Sweden, Switzerland, something.
There's a couple places
that are trying it, and it's a concept that really, really interests me. And if you guys don't know, that is basically you get paid because you're alive. You get like a stipend, and that frees you up to be able to do other things. It frees you up to be able to, go to school. It frees you up to be able to take night classes, and it frees you up to, you won't have to work as much. And that's in countries where they don't work 40 hours a week like we work in the States. That's not a full work week for them. I think it's 30,
like 32 or something.
Yeah, it's like high 20s, low 30s, and that's the work week. And and that's, I like the concept. I can see where there's holes. I can see where there's flaws, because I have a mother that worked, doing Social Security stuff and food stamps and stuff like that for a long time. So I know that there's people that just try and beat the system, and there's definitely people that do. But it's something that I think would be very interesting if we could utilize and help people innovate. I think our ability to innovate as a nation would go insane if we could do something like that.
See, I don't know. I like UBI in concept. I like that it takes all social programs, turns them into one, and makes it a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
But people need to feel like they have a purpose. And if you're just giving out money, it's very easy for people to fall into a pit of just doing nothing and then hating everything. So I also don't think we're getting close to where there's going to be a tipping point of where most jobs can be done by robots.
Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of the jobs are just going to be made easier by AI and robots, where you still need a human to make the final decision on more creative things, but the robot can do all the data aggregation and stuff.
Yeah.
So and then also, especially with a country as large as the US, you then have to protect the borders super intensely, because if you're giving out, I think the suggested or the target amount or whatever was something like $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
Then it's very important that you know how many people are in your country.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be able to get it if you don't have Social Security, you don't have, a passport. If you're not here legally, you should not be able to get it. And I understand that's part of the problem that we're going through right now as a country with illegal immigration and whatnot. But I'm also of the mindset, and I've had some people push back with me on this, surprisingly, that in order to get like food stamps, in order to get state aid, you should have to pass a drug test. I think if you're going to have someone pay, whether you can work or disability or anything like that, I get, and like, I understand, but you should still have to pass a drug test for like,
what kind of drugs?
Like heroin, coke, like pot. I don't give a shit about marijuana. Like, honestly, anybody that's like, you can't smoke weed, like, come on.
But I think that's the distinction, is that when you, because I don't know how those conversations went with people, but if you're just saying drug test, that also includes,
it has a negative
includes
connotation.
Weed, and that has a lot of beneficial effects.
Absolutely.
People it has to be used correctly, but
yeah, because it can also there are ways to make it a negative thing. If you're a lethargic individual and you choose not to work and you just want to smoke weed all day, then that's something that having, Social Security or food stamps or anything like that, an EBT card, that's something that then affords you to be able to do, is to sit on your ass all day and do nothing.
Right.
But if you're someone that, like, and I've never smoked weed, but I have friends that have, and people that are very extremely intelligent people I know smoke weed, and it's just okay, I'm home, I did everything I needed to do, I need to slow down, I'm just gonna one hit it, and that's the day. I'm gonna relax after that and then hang out.
Yeah, it's the same way that people treat Alcohol.
Yeah.
Some people treat alcohol.
I love alcohol. It's great. I love whiskey. It's my jam.
It's nice. You don't get the...
It takes the edge off.
It takes the edge off, but there always is a cost you pay the next day. Even if you just have one, at least I've noticed that if I drink at all the night before, if it's like if it's one or two, it's okay. But if I drink, or if it's beer, especially beer, for me, fucks me up. But the next day, I always feel a little bit more sluggish.
Yeah, it definitely drives me out more than it used to, and I think part of that is because I'm old.
And keto,
which I hope we'll talk about in a minute. But
we got like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll jump into that in a second. But yeah, I mean, it's just I think that weed gets such a bad rap because for so long it was a gateway drug, and it's not a gateway drug unless you want it to be a gateway drug.
Because of lying.
Yeah, absolutely because of lying.
Well, but the whole way that it got made illegal was the whole hemp was a competitor for pretty much everything.
Hemp, and that's so good for like clothes, and it's so cheap and so easy to produce, and it's crazy that it's just like, no. What do you mean no?
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it'll definitely we're at that tipping point where we have 15 of our states.
I think it's 15.
But we have
medicinally, I think it's 15. I don't think recreationally it's 15.
Okay, but let's say give or take 15 that are at least accepting of it, and then the culture is so accepting of it that
that's the thing is like if so many people want to do it, I'm of the mindset, and this is super liberal of me, and this is like one of the few things that I am extremely liberal of. I legalize it all. Legalize it all in limited quantities. If somebody wants to fucking get heroin, they're going to get heroin. Why not tax it and make money off of it? If you get caught with heroin in your system while operating heavy machinery, while, doing this with children while your job, then that's their distinction. That then you are in trouble because you shouldn't be operating heavy machinery or have the dependency of someone else's life on your shoulders while you are inebriated in some sense, just like alcohol. But if somebody really wants that bad, they're going to get it anyway. Why not just tax it? Why not make money from it? Look at what Colorado's done with marijuana. It's insane.
Yeah.
And all that money goes into education.
But I don't think that you can call heroin and coke the same as marijuana.
No,
or
absolutely
as cannabis.
not. It's definitely not.
Because there are at least some sort of benefit with weed, and it's not something that's going to... Like people get addicted in a psychological way, but not in a physical way.
Yeah.
Heroin, cocaine, those things you're physiologically addicted to it.
No,
I mean pharmaceuticals are huge.
Exactly.
Fucking pain.
That's my biggest argument to that is that you can get addicted to stuff the doctor prescribes you too. And, people then get a dependency for oxycodone and Percocet and Vicks.
A lot of old people.
Yeah.
Especially old people, because they don't have... They have access, but they don't necessarily know how to do their own internet research.
Yeah, and it's hard to cycle off once you're on.
And
you get the shakes.
And they're told to trust their doctor.
Yeah.
So if the doctor is giving them this medication, and then they just keep giving them the medication, they'll... I don't know. You can have 30 pills for 30 days. You take them for the 30 days, and then the doctor won't give it to you. But you're already hooked at that point.
Yeah, it takes, I think it was like 6. I think I read something that says it takes like 6 days for it to then become not habitual, not even, I don't remember what the proper word was, but it takes like 6 or 7 days for it to become something your body then is like, oh, I don't need to produce this anymore. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, I'm not producing this. And then once you cycle off, your body's like, we need that thing now. It's time.
Give us that outside source.
Exactly.
But there's it was one of the more recent Rogan podcasts. Mm-hmm. He had someone on. I'm not going to look it up now.
Yeah.
But he was talking about I think it was focused on vets. The project, it was called Angel, I don't know, whatever it was. It was helping veterans who have like PTSD and that type of thing. Rehab, get off of all the medications that they're being put on, through hormone therapy specifically.
Oh,
so
interesting.
The gist of it is that imbalanced hormones cause most of the issues that like depression and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So finding each individual baseline, because I think the correct amount of, is it maybe testosterone was between like 10 and 90, but that's a huge fucking range.
Yeah.
So some people might have a base of like 15 normally. Some people might have a base of 45 normally. But if you have two people reading 15, one of them's not going to be feeling that great. But the doctor's going to say you should be fine because you're in that range. So the world of specialized medicine is growing, and that's one that I find really interesting.
Yeah, I like the advances that are being made and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. And just to backpack off of this kind of and just switch gears a little bit to just discuss one of the more things that we're doing to try and better our head spaces and our stuff that we can kind of pull personal experience from is Josh and I started keto. We were on a keto diet. How long have we been doing this now? A couple months? 3 months?
I mean, since we moved in, so like 5 or 6 months.
5 or 6 months now we've been
You're doing it a bit more regimented than I am.
I'm a little more religious about it.
I'm kind of doing more paleo, if anything.
Yeah. But how do you were the one that kind of opened it up to me, so I'll let you kind of talk more about it now than me. What is it exactly? What is it? Yeah.
It's essentially super low carb, high fat. So I think the goal is between 20 and 50 carbs per day, as opposed to, I don't know, like 200, 300 that people take. And I like it, but it is also very hard to stick to.
It's tough.
And I know for me personally, I think where my body's at, just where I'm at now, that's why I've been moving more into paleo stuff. So eating things like blueberries, because it's sugar, but it has the fiber with it and stuff. I made some roasted almonds last night.
Ooh.
I burnt some of them because I didn't know what I was doing. But
learning.
But but really it's just about cutting sugar and processed carbs, and you're kind of fine. Like those are the two universal things that people are saying, like, okay, if you do that, your health's going to improve.
And I mean, honestly, as someone that, like you said, I've been slightly more regimented on it. I feel great. Like I eat carbs and stuff every once in a while. I have like a cheat day a week, maybe a little more frequently, maybe sometimes a little less frequently. But after I eat like a pizza, because that's my cheat, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because it's just all the carbs just slow my body down. But I'm a big fan. Like if anyone, I do a lot of baked chicken. I eat broccoli every day. Sometimes I put cheese on it because I'm allowed to. A lot of butter. Eggs every morning, bacon. Like it's pretty straightforward. And it's not hard to maintain. And I feel like I've seen a lot of really good benefits. Like I feel like I'm in better shape now than I've been in a long time.
Yeah, you've dropped. You said 195.
Yeah,
right now?
I weighed in today at 195. I'm under 200 pounds for like the first time in like 4 years, something like that.
And that's impressive.
Yeah, it feels good. It honestly is, and I'm much more solid now than I was. I think in the first podcast that we had, I think we posted on the channel. If you guys want to go back and look, I have a little bit of fat face, and I definitely like the cheeks are definitely chubbier than they are currently.
You sent me a screenshot.
Yeah,
I think we posted it about a month ago, but you sent me a screenshot of the two of us, and I'm probably wearing this hat again.
Probably.
But I didn't know what you were talking about. But once you said it, I was like, oh yeah, your face has kind of gone from like that to.
I just have fat cheeks. Like that's just a curse of my family. Like I just have fat cheeks. I always look like I can store walnuts in here.
Do you?
But yeah, I do. It's bad. It's just sometimes they hurt my gums. But you know what?
It's brain food.
For the ability to get a walnut whenever you want, you just fucking do it.
You'd be a great squirrel.
The best squirrel.
No, I'd be the best squirrel. You'd be an okay squirrel.
Be the best squirrel.
No. You'd be an okay squirrel.
Be the best squirrel.
All right. Well, you're a fucking rat.
I'd be a better squirrel.
Fucking rat. Okay, so you're a keto rat.
I'm a keto rat, and I mean I like it. I feel good about it. We've been doing protein shakes with almond milk, and honestly, it's worked out really well. I'm super excited and trying to get Josh to make more of the chocolate mousse that we're allowed to have, but he won't do it because he hates me.
Well, it's also because that cream is bad. The heavy whipping cream went bad December 10th.
You're gross.
The cream is gross.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have made some.
I feel that.
So I went to go do it a couple nights ago, and I was like, oh, not fucking eating that.
No.
So that the mascarpone cheese or whatever.
Mascarpone, yeah.
There's ours after.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's mascarpone. I think it's Al Capone. Al Capone cheese. It's because he's fat.
Yeah, see.
Mascarpone.
Mascarpone.
Weird.
So
we got that at Publix, by the way, if you guys are interested. It's not super expensive. Hell yeah, we can do that. Buy that from us, and then Josh makes like 36 cents or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through that work. That's all what you're doing.
Never mind. We don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, keto, if you have any questions about that, you can talk to Josh or I, probably me, because again, I'm a little more religious on it. But it's worked out well. I mean, I really do. I feel better. There's more pep in my step, I feel. And yeah, other than the fact that I dry out now more than I've ever dried out before. Like I'll wake up with cotton mouth like a motherfucker sometimes.
You know what I want to do? And it's, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. That was pretty much done my thought.
Dope. Get my levels tested for everything, like hormone levels, like blood levels. Like I don't know all the things, but to get a baseline of stuff, because the individualized medicine is super interesting.
Yeah.
But the doctor I have now is just not
about it.
Well, I haven't asked him. I just don't trust him.
Fair.
I don't.
Douchebag.
He's not a douchebag. He seems. So he's got to be like maybe 55, 60. Mm-hmm. But he just seems like he's over being a doctor. And he's like, yeah, you come in, you want this. Okay. Check here's a B12 shot. Like, I don't want a shot.
Don't give me that.
I'm telling you how I'm feeling. Now let's talk about it.
Let's figure this out together.
But I'm on a new health insurance, so I think I have to go to a new doctor anyway.
That's good. I wouldn't even know how to go about that.
Get the levels tested?
Yeah.
I think you have to find a doctor who's more of a, like a DO as opposed to an MD or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance would help.
Yeah.
Or just get rid of the whole insurance system and only pay when you need to go.
That'd be great. I'd like that a lot, but that'll never happen. Not in my lifetime.
I don't know. Crypto. That's just my answer for anything.
Josh, I got to go to the store. You want to go?
I mean,
crypto.
With Bitcoin, you don't have to go to the store anymore.
I love it.
God.
I love it.
That's such a fucking big world.
It really is. Josh has been calling it the Wild West, but it should be the Wild Wild West because it's just like the www. Whatever era. You know what I'm saying?
.com boom.
Yeah, that one.
One of the things I found interesting, and we'll close out on this because we're over an hour.
Yeah, it's good.
Was the idea, so taking the blockchain technology or Tangle or whatever it is, you could be insured in your car insurance only when you're driving and only pay for the amount that you're driving.
I like that.
So because you can just send the information from your car, which you can do now, but with that type of technology, it keeps it transparent. So and everyone knows that no one's lying about that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you were driving for 5 hours this past week, and it was you driving. So you're paying for 5 hours of insurance. That's it.
I like that.
So it's an interesting concept. Once I was told that you can have machines pay machines, and it's not just money, it like
information.
It really expanded my
that's crazy
my view of it. But
I'm excited. I honestly think that the next 20 years of innovation will be so much faster and so much bigger than the last 20 years. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it ends up, and hopefully we'll continue to podcast this journey together.
Yeah, 6 months down, 20 years to go.
20 years to go.
I'm gonna die at 45.
Oh, sweet. Me too.
Yeah, I'll come
back.
Well,
I'll be older than Josh, but I'll be 46 and like 3/4. So my birthday's in April.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be a little older, but
yeah, you're 13 months.
Yeah. So
dope. Well, okay, so that was us talking about stuff.
If you want to make out with us, wait, sorry.
Yeah, that's a different show.
Sorry, that was a different thing.
So we still got to figure it. We definitely got to figure out this set because this is like boring to look at.
So boring.
But this was good. This was good. This was good. This was successful. We got some words out of our mouths, and we're both wearing good shirts.
It's good shirts. Mickey Mouse Club.
Mickey Mouse Club. Boop boop beep boop. So if you want to follow us, go to the Junk Drawer Show on any social media. You're
We'll have
watching
the
this on
links
YouTube,
in
so
the description.
a like and or subscribe would be delightful.
Superb.
And we'll make this 2018 is going to be a good year.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely try and streamline this a little bit and get back on a schedule because we have been bad.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting
tumultuous.
Month and a half. Yeah, that's a good word.
Thank you.
That's a good word.
I like that word.
Okay, well, we'll see you later. Goodbye.
I don't have a rolly chair.
Just hit it.
I don't have a rolly chair.